Good morning, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and today we're going to make a seashell fairy house. This is one I made earlier, and we're going to make one a little bit bigger so it'll be easier for you. We're working with Polymer clay, and the brand I'm using is Sculpey 3, although you can probably use any brand you like. I'm using the color black because I like the way the finishes I do look on black, and later on in the video I'll show you how to finish it. Right now I'm rolling the shape for the shell. It's going to be a spiral, so we need a cone shape that's maybe 6 to 8 inches long. Gradually gets smaller and goes to a point at the end. Now I'm going to start to spiral it, starting at the big end and slowly twisting it around to become a cone. And I squeeze it together to make it tight, so it looks like this. And now I'm kind of making it a little bit concave at where the opening would be. That's where the door is going to be for the house. Now I'm going to roll a new clay, and I'm going to use that to frame the door. Just rolling it on the table will keep it uniform, and it will be easier to get it nice and thin. Now I just put this around the door, and I do it in a kind of stylish way. I'm not looking to just wrap it around it. Now I'm going to take a ball tool, which is a very common tool used by polymer clay artists, and I'm just going to blend everything together on the inside so it's nice and smooth in there. And then with my finger, because that's the easiest tool for this part, is to blend the outside. And I use a tool if necessary to get into parts that I can't reach with my finger. Now I'm going to take a ball of clay and flatten it up slightly, and this will be the door. And I put that in the hole within the door frame and press it into place. Now I'm taking little oblong shapes to create the hinges for the door. And I need 2 of those. And I'll cut them in with a tool, kind of blend them into the door. Next I need the wood planking for the door, so I'm going to carve it with my sculpting tool to make the door look like it's made up of wood planks. And finally, I will make a little doorknob out of the ball of clay and apply it to the door. I'll set that aside, and now I'm going to make a mound for the house to sit on. And this is where we'll be able to put stairs and other embellishments like mushrooms and flowers and that sort of thing. So we roll a ball, get it nice and smooth, and then start squeezing it so that we're flattening the bottom and kind of rounding the sides a little bit. You can put it on the table to flatten the bottom as well. I'm just further pushing it now into the table to round it out and flatten the bottom. Now I'm going to score the top so that it's roughed up. I'll score the bottom of the seashell house as well, and then I'll twist the parts together to bond them well, trying not to deform the house at the same time. Next, I'm going to start making stairs leading down from the house. These are made up of round, flat, disc-like shapes. And I can sculpt them in with the tool a little bit. Blend them in with my fingers. And cut it in at the bottom to the base to make them nice and sturdy. Adding another one now. Going down the mound to the left. Kind of, in a way, becomes a little bit of a spiral staircase, curving and going down the side of the mound. Blending it into the mound and the base, into the sides. And here I am, just forming it, kind of cleaning it up and making it look nice and neat. Here I am cutting it in between each stair. Now I'm going around and just cleaning up around the outside of the shell. You can do a fairy house within a real seashell, but if you don't have one, this is the next best thing, making your own. Here I'm putting in a hole in the side of the shell for a window. I'm using a smaller ball tool for that. Then I'll add pieces of clay to make it look like the window has 4 lights, 4 separate pieces of glass. Of course, that's imaginary. There will not be glass in this window. And I'm just cutting it in and sculpting it into place. It takes a little bit of time and patience, but it's a really cool looking window when it's done. These wood sculpting tools that I'm using are available at most art supply stores. I only have 2. I find them to be very useful. If you've never done this type of work or you're new to it, just be patient with yourself. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but if you practice, and you'll get better and better, and pretty soon it'll be easy. So I'm just taking my time adjusting the window and making it look nice. Now I'm taking little bits of clay and I'm going to go around the base of the seashell, and this will be the beginning of the landscaping, which will be sculptured. This tool is basically a dental tool, and you can find them at most art supply stores, craft stores, and that sort of thing. And all I'm doing is basically roughing it up so that it looks like plantings and bushes and things like that. I can take a seashell and push it into place there into the clay, embed it in the clay, and just to add a little bit of texture and fun to the piece. And using the dental tool, I just go around and I rough up that landscaping, sculptured landscaping that I put in. Now I'm going to roll a series of balls, and then from those balls I'm going to show you how I make flowers. I usually use 5 balls per for each one flower, single flower. I roll the ball, I flatten it out, curve it and fold it to itself, add another piece, which is another now petal, flower petal, and I just go around like that, building a flower. Almost like little roses. And then I'll press that into the base, and with the sculpting tool I'll carve it in so that it stays. Basically just blending the base of the flower into the base of the sculpture. And now I'll make another. Add that beside it. Sort of press it into place without deforming it, and then blend it with my tool underneath. Laying in another seashell and pressing it into place along the staircase there. And another one on the other side. Just adding color and texture and a little bit of fun to it. Now I'm adding more landscaping. If you put this in like small pieces like that, it adds more texture to the piece. Now I'm making a mushroom. I make the cap first, and then I make a little stalk. Work the pieces together by twisting to make them strong. And then lay them on the sculpture and blend them in with the tool. Making another one now. Putting on the stock, twisting it in place, adding it to the sculpture, and blending in with the tool. You can do this randomly all around the sculpture, wherever you like. If you like my video, please share it with your friends and on any kind of social media that you're on. I really appreciate it. And here I am taking the dental tool and roughing up the landscaping to make it look like bushes and plants and grass. And later we'll finish this in green and it will be quite pretty. Just adding little bits at a time, and then when we go back and add the texture with the dental tool, it will look nicely layered and add a beautiful texture to the piece. Sometimes little bits of clay come off while you're doing this, and sometimes just pressing them gently back into the sculpture is fine. As you can see, I'm doing that with my hand there. Making another mushroom now for the front. And adding it by the door. Sometimes it's easier to blend with a tool as opposed to your fingers. Adding another seashell now and touching it up. Here I'm about to use Pearl X Pigments to do the finish. I work from the lid. I get a little bit in the lid and then I work from there. I'm going to make the door purple here. I just love this. It's actually called Reflex Violet, and I will put all the tools in the tool and supply list in the video description down below the video. There will also be baking instructions for the clay, and there'll be 2 videos on how to smooth polymer clay should you not know how to do that. So you can go back and do a nice smooth finish on the sculpture. I'm using bronze on the seashell. Just applying it with a brush. I'm going to use a little bit of what they call duo red-blue on the mushrooms. So it'll be a nice colorful piece. In between colors, I'll wipe it off with a rag, and I'm using bronze on the stalks of the mushrooms here. And now I'm using green on the landscaping. I'm going to use a little bit of silver on the staircase. I'm going to use purple on the flowers. And then I'll take a little bit of bronze and just touch up the ends of the petals, make them a nice bronze color. It's a beautiful match with the purple. And then blue on the mushrooms. Then you can bake it, and again the baking instructions are in the video description down below the video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up and let me know you like the video. Comment and ask any questions in the comment section. Keep in mind that I do make things for people if you'd like something made just for you, and please visit my art shop. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.